Hey, some people were wondering what kind of teams you can use for giants if you don't quite have the rune quality to pull off some of the teams that I was showcasing in some of my previous videos. So today I have several teams depending on where your account is at when it comes to giants. I'll be including some of the tips and tricks for a bunch of these teams, along with the charts that I always use for everything. So if you like charts, don't have good runes, or you just want to see some tips and tricks, this is just the video for you. Okay, so this is probably the easiest giants team to build. First we have Veromos moving, followed by Prilia, then either Sigmarus or Bella, and lastly Homunculus. For all of these builds, keep in mind that I build these units in this way because I don't have bad runes. I sold all of them, so I cannot really show you how it looks with actually bad runes. So I just didn't place some runes on some of the monsters and put nonsensical builds on a bunch of them, so just bear with me and do what I say, not what I show you. First we have the Veromos moving. Here it is important that he actually does go first. You want some HP on him and some defense on him. You want 35 accuracy on all of your monsters. Ideally you would put something like Rage Blade on him, or just double or triple blade. Don't go too crazy on the speed because anything above plus 66 speed is completely wasted. It doesn't change the turn order in any way, and I'll get to the speed tuning of this team a bit later on. You want him to be speed, crit damage, and here you would like to have HP. On the artifacts, just put whatever stats you can get on him and it's gonna work just fine. So 35 accuracy, 66 speed, speed, crit damage, attack on 100 crit rate ideally. If you can't get there, just ignore the crit rate part. Then we have Prilia. Just make sure that she's slower than Veromos and faster than the other units, and make sure that she has plus 35 accuracy, and then put some HP towards her and she's gonna do just fine. I just have her on speed, HP, and she works wonders. Then the turn order on Sigmarus and Belladion don't matter. This is what the Sigmarus looks like. He has HP, crit rate, HP. In an ideal world, you would have like triple blade or double blade energy, and you would go HP, crit damage, attack. You do want some accuracy on him, because if the crystals start attacking you, you start getting a lot of damage, and so accuracy for the skill 3 is very nice. You do probably want to get some skill ups on him. It is not mandatory, but it will fail slightly less often if you just max skill him. Again, the artifacts don't really do anything except providing some HP so that he doesn't die. Then we have the Belladion. Again, we just have some HP so that he doesn't die. 35 accuracy, and we want to make sure that the turn order is correct. He just needs to move after the Prilia. These are the runes for Homunculus. Again, you want some HP so that he doesn't die, and then just plop the runes that you got for free on Heihachi on him, and it's gonna work mostly fine. Just make sure that you swap some of these runes out so that you get at least 85 crit rate, and you want to make sure that he has at least plus 52 speed so that he outspeeds the mid boss. For artifacts, I just put whatever came to my hand the first, and so they don't really do anything, and you'll be able to do this with whatever artifacts you have. Let's talk about the speed tuning on this team. So the Veromos, you want him to be at least 66 speed. That way his second turn comes between the defense breaking crystal and the boss, so that you don't get either counter attacked or attacked into the defense break from the crystal for the first 2 rotations. If you get counter-attacked into defense break after that point, Homunculus will take over and finish off the boss, so after that we don't really care anymore. Here's what it looks like in practice. This team is super slow, but it works, right? So we don't have any type of AoE defense break, we just go slow and steady and clear the waves. And as you can see, most of the damage on the whole team is just coming from the Homunculus being on rage, and we just led Homunculus to clear everything basically on his own, because nothing else in this team really does any damage, and if you just put more damage on your other units, it will just run a lot faster. So here you could see that we got defense broken from the crystal, and Veromos immediately cleansed it, and then we got attacked and counterattacked, and we're still fine. And at this point, if we get defense broken into counterattack, we don't really care, because the homunculus would clear it anyway. With the runes that I just showcased, it is running on 95 seconds average, so it's minute and a half. It's super slow, but also very safe. We did over 100 runs and it never failed for me. It did come quite close a few times, so it will fail from time to time, but I don't think you should be running this team for a long time anyway, because the other team that I'm gonna showcase is similarly easy to run, so this is just a stepping stone to get to the team that I'm going to showcase next. The next team that I want to showcase is the classic Kyle into double surge. So basically we have Prilia, then Kyle takes 6 turns, and then Homunculus finishes off whatever is left alive. First, let's look at how it runs, then I'm gonna go over the speed tuning, and lastly I'll show you what kind of runes you can run this with, and what kind of times you can expect from it. So first we have the Prilia, and then Kyle goes on a spiritual journey, where he just goes completely berserk and kills everything, just like this, and then it's just more of the same. So Kyle just takes 6 turns. Boom, 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 boom. If you put more damage towards your Kyle, it will run significantly faster, because he will just start one-shotting things. Like, as you can see, right now he doesn't even have enough damage to one-shot the crystals, but it is not very difficult to make it so that he does that. And on the boss, usually the boss doesn't take a turn, but if he does, it still doesn't matter, because Homunculus will just take over and finish the run. As you can see, we just barely don't do enough damage, and then the boss attacks. So if you do slightly more damage than the runes that I'm gonna showcase right now, you're just good to go. Let's look at the speed tuning of the Kyle team. First you have Prilia. She has to be at least plus 118 speed. If she's on Swift, it has to be plus 119. Then we have Kyle, and he has to basically take the 3rd turn before the homunculus. That's at least 99 speed if he is not on Swift, and plus 100 if he is on Swift. We have specifically the Theon moving next, not the Water Garuda, because at this point the boss has not counterattacked, but at the turn of the Garuda he has counterattacked. So if you put Theon instead of Garuda, he will just tend to use his skill 3, so we just want an unawakened Garuda here. The Theon has to be at least plus 69 nice speed, then the Water Garuda has to be faster than the homunculus, and the homunculus you ideally want to be exactly plus 52 speed. You can get away with a bunch less, but at that point he will get cut by the mid-boss. If you make the homunculus faster, you will have to adjust the speed on Kyle. For example, if we increase the speed by 1, we will have to increase the speed on Dalsim by 5. So basically you want to get as close to plus 52 as possible on the homunculus. As always, the link to this simulator will be in the video description, so if you have issues with the monsters not taking turns in the correct order, just copy the link in the video description, paste it in your search bar, and you're good to go. It will load up this page, and you can just tweak the speeds as you need. As for the runes, the homunculus is the same as in the previous team, so these are mostly just the Heihachi runes. Artifacts are still useless. Then we have the Kyle. As you can see, is decently fast. I put him on Rage. You can just as well put him on Swift. You will need at least about these kinds of stats. Ideally, you would want way more attack and crit damage, but if you don't have that, this is also fine. As for the artifacts, we have 12% damage on water and some own turn crit damage. The accuracy on him is not important because we still have Prilia. Talking of which, the Prilia, as I said, you need at least plus 118 speed and 35 accuracy. Ideally, you would put her on triple fight. Other than that, her stats don't matter at all. And then the Theon and Konamiya, you just want them on triple fight and to move in the correct slot. You do want some HP on the Garuda, but even like this, she doesn't die to a single counterattack from the giant, so this is also fine. I ran the team both with the Kyle and with the Street Fighter collab version of Kyle, which is the Dalsim. The Dalsim version is running quite a bit faster, but even with the runes that I just showcased with using Kyle, it is still going to be running around a minute average, and it is going to be very safe. We're talking about 99.7% success rate. With better runes, it will be even higher. If you do have the Dalsim, it is going to be running around 7 seconds faster on average. This team is not perfect, but it should serve as a pretty good stepping stone towards an actual speed team. It scales pretty decently with better runes, so I put a better set on Kyle. Now he actually has artifacts that make sense, and I also put proper fight sets on Theon, Prelia, and Konamiya. And if we run it like this, it will run significantly faster because the Dalsim will just one-shot the golems and crystals more often. As you can see, he already one-shots the side crystals, and if he has attack buff, he also one-shots the golems. You also get one less rotation on the mid-boss, and it's just faster overall. Usually on the third wave, the homunculus doesn't even have to move. So the Kyle team with worse runes will run around a minute average. With better runes, it will be up to about 44 average. In both scenarios, it is pretty safe. But once you have some somewhat decent rate set, you can already transition into a proper speed team. So we have the classic Teshar team that you've seen a million times. It works like this, so we have Prelia moving first, then Teshar just two-shotting the waves. And on the mid-boss and end-boss we have Luna and Homunculus to finish off the boss. Let's look at the runes and speed tuning that you're going to need for this team. First we have the Prelia, classic triple fight, 35 accuracy as always, and you want to make sure that she has at least plus 84 speed. Then we have the Teshar. I even removed one of the runes, just to illustrate that you don't really need super extreme runes to be able to run this team. We have some damage on water and one useless artifact. I'll get to the speed on Teshar a bit later, but you need at least 47 speed. Konamiya, triple fight, and then we have Luna, also missing a rune, and you just want a bunch of damage on her, and that's what she's there for. And Homunculus we have on exactly the same build as we had in the previous teams, so he's overstacking a bunch of crit rate. You want to make sure that he has at least 100 minus 35. You want to make sure that your homunculus has at least 52 crit rate, 67 on your Teshar. That's because the side crystals on the waves are pure, not water, so you don't get the elemental advantage on them. The speed tuning for the Teshar team looks like this, so Prelia 84, Teshar plus 47, Konamiya plus 66, Luna at least plus 50, and Homunculus plus 52. If anything goes slower, you don't get the second turn on the Teshar, or you will get cut by the mid-boss golems. Last but not least, we have my favorite Giants team, which is the Julie into Sigmarus clearing the wave, and then Luna Homunculus clearing the bosses. It runs something like this. So we have Prelia first, then Julie and Sigmarus clears the wave, and then Prelia, Sigmarus, and Luna with Homunculus clearing the boss. And again, Julie Sigmarus clearing the wave. And again, Luna and Homunculus finishing off the boss. The one nice thing about this team, why I like it so much, is that you can reuse the Julie and Luna in dragons. If you want to know more about that, watch my dungeon team consolidation video I made a while back. Okay, so let's look at the runes. Prelia is rocking damage fight set. So we have damage on water on artifacts, 35 accuracy, speed, she just needs to be faster than everything else. Then we have the Julie. I have the Julie on full damage set because the way she is built right now, she can also one-shot the waves in Punisher script, which also uses the exact same speed tuning. I'm also going to show you how you can fine-tune your Julie so that you don't need a very high damage set on her. I'll do that after I go over the rest of the runes. Then we have Sigmarus, just a solid damage set, a bunch of damage on water and skill 3 crit damage. Again, if you use the weaker Julie, you can significantly reduce the stats on your Sigmarus and the team will run exactly the same way. These are the runes on the Luna. Right now she has damage on water and a bunch of skill 3 crit damage. When I want to run her in dragons, I'll just swap this artifact for damage on fire and it works just as well. And then Homunculus, also triple fight, damage on water, and damage as enemy HP is low and whatnot. The Sigmarus team runs on 22.5 seconds average, and it fails about 0.3% of the times, so it failed 7 times in 2200 runs. Now, if the 99.7% success rate isn't enough for you, you can trade 3 seconds of your average runtime and just run the Teshar team. That one, I've seen it fail like once, but I did so many runs of this and I didn't have the logger at that point, so I only have 300 here just to get an idea of the times. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually 99.99% safe. I use this because it is compatible with the Dragon team, and I think that the 0.3% fail rate for 3.5 seconds on average is a worthwhile trade. Let's say that you just don't have these kinds of runes for your Julie, so what can you do? Let's just put her on triple fight. And we can use pretty much whatever runes we have. Here is an example of Julie that does enough damage so that she doesn't trigger the golem passive, so that the Sigmarus can one-shot. So I put HP on her and I remove most of the damage by attack. I left some of it. So we have total 10% damage by attack. So this build is way easier to achieve. And in a wave, it will look something like this. So we have 2900 damage. 2930 is about the threshold that I would recommend aiming for. So here we can see the stats for giants. The golems on third wave have 35,500 health and we want to leave them slightly above 50% HP, so 35,550 divided, well, Julie hits 6 times, so divided by 12, and this is the maximum damage per card. And you want to get, so at the point where we are right now, the golems will have 35,550 divided by 2 health, 17.7k. And the Sigmarus does 20k damage, so we're overkilling it by a healthy amount. If you like this type of content, let me know in the comment section down below the video, leave a like and consider subscribing. That's it for this one, and see you in the next one. Thank you.